अस्सलाम वालेकुम दोस्तों, वेलकम बैक टू द ग्रीन विक्स। आपका मेज़बान अरकम खान। आज हम बात करेंगे कि व्हाट इज़ हैपनिंग इन द यूएस एंड हाउ इट इज़ इम्पैक्टिंग द ग्लोबल इकोनॉमीज। यूएस में एक रोलर कोस्टर राइड चल रही है जिसने दुनिया को हिला के रखा हुआ। स्टेबिलिटी नाम की चीज़ ही नहीं है। आइए चल के बात करते हैं कि हो क्या रहा है। जैसा कि आप सबको पता होगा कि कल ट्रेड कोर्ट ने ट्रंप के जो लिबरेशन डे टैरिफ मूव है उनके ऊपर एक स्टे ऑर्डर जारी किया था, pausing the tariffs that were announced. For people who don't know, Liberation Day tariff move क्या है? It was up to a 50% tariff on over 65 countries that the US imports from, right? And इस stay order की वजह से markets ने बहुत positive respond किया। ऑल्सो जो ट्रंप ने यूरोपियन यूनियन के साथ टैरिफ्स लगाए थे वो टेम्परेली पॉज किए थे टिल जुलाई, राइट, ताकि यूरोपियन यूनियन एंड द यूएस कैन फाइंड सम म्यूचुअल ग्राउंड। सो वी सॉ क्वाइट अ लॉट ऑफ पॉजिटिव मूवमेंट इन द स्टॉक मार्केट। आपका जो टेक इंडेक्स है यूएस का, इट रिबाउंडेड क्वाइट वेल, राइट, led by tech giants Nvidia and AMD, who saw the highest uplift. लेकिन इसमें मजा कहाँ? आइए देखते हैं कि आज के दिन हुआ क्या। So, looking at some news, Trump's tariffs to remain in effect after appeal court grants stay. तो जब आपके ट्रेड कोर्ट ने स्टे ऑर्डर दिया तो ऑब्वियसली उसका फेडरल कोर्ट में अपील हुआ और फेडरल कोर्ट ने टेम्परेली वापस वो टैरिफ्स रीइंस्टेट कर दिए हैं, ठीक है। बट वन थिंग दैट आई वांट टू हाईलाइट ओवर हियर इज टेम्परेरी। इट हैज बीन टिल जून 9th जब दोनों पार्टीज को कहा कि अपने केसेस प्रेजेंट करें एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट दे वुड मेक अ डिसीजन वेदर ट्रंप वाज इन हिज राइट to set these tariffs or it was not in his purview, ठीक है। and because of this markets काफ़ी हिली हैं, right, जैसे कि मैंने पहले बताया, it's on tariff on most US trading partners. Additional tariffs आपके कनाडा, मेक्सिको और चाइना पे लगे थे। Now if we see what's happening because of this, Trump's trade war has shaken makers of everything from luxury brands, sneakers, जो आपके मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री है सारी, जो रिटेल इंडस्ट्री है यूएस के अंदर, that is getting hit quite substantially because of this. आपके कंपनी सच एज डियाजियो, आपके टॉप के जो ऑटो मेकर हैं, जनरल मोटर्स हो गया, फोर्ड हो गया, उन्होंने तो अपने फोरकास्ट ही अबैंडन कर दिए, इतनी अनसर्टेनिटी है। बट वन थिंग दैट वी नीड टू कीप एन आई ऑन, राइट, इज द ISM मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडेक्स, राइट, which is going to be, the report is going to be announced on 2nd June. Forecast is 48.7. Previously in April be 48.7. So they are saying that it's projected के further drop नहीं आएगा क्योंकि मार्च के अंदर it was 49, right? Now what happens? What the ISM manufacturing index is, ये एक बहुत crucial economic indicator है जो manufacturing sector की health बताता है in the United States. अब देखना यह है कि अगर इसमें फर्दर कॉन्ट्रैक्शन होती है, राइट, दैट वुड टेल अस दैट बिजनेसेस आर फेसिंग चैलेंजेस, इंक्लूडिंग टैरिफ के इम्पैक्ट हो गया, आपके सप्लाई चेन की अनसर्टेनिटी हो गई, राइट, एंड दिस वुड कंट्रीब्यूट इनटू कॉशियस बिजनेस सेंटिमेंट मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, व्हिच इज नॉट अ पॉजिटिव थिंग। अब ये तो एक एरिया हो गया। लेट्स लुक एट व्हाट्स हैपनिंग to the US dollar, right? US dollar is set for 5th monthly drop on trade and physical uncertainty, right? US dollar has been dropping month over month and this would be the 5th month that it is dropping. The US dollar wobbled on Friday en route to its 5th straight monthly decline as traders braced for further uncertainty around trade policy and US fiscal health, right? While waiting pivotal inflation report, जो अभी रिलीज होनी है, अब हुआ ये है कि कल जो है आपके जॉबलेस क्लेम और इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ का डेटा आया है, राइट, विच वाज अ बिट पॉजिटिव. तो अगर इधर देखा जाए जीडीपी ग्रोथ रेट प्रोजेक्टेड नेगेटिव 0.3 किया था, बट इट एक्चुअली was negative 0.2. So better than what was projected, but what you need to keep in mind is previously it was 2.4. So that is a massive, massive drop. But even after this positive news, इतना कोई positive impact नहीं हुआ, right? Because US is on its way to recession, right? Economic downturn पे है, and traders and everyone is really, really worried. Investors now are going to focus on, which is very, very critical, जो आप लोग be a bit wary of, is the inflation data, right? PCE report जो अभी चंद घंटों के अंदर आएगी, right? Forecasted 0.1 है, previously it was 0. So need to see what happens to the forecast data over here. अब आगे चलते हैं, right? So as you guys know, the minutes of the meeting of the last FOMC meeting was released, right? Which shows that आपका जो Fed है, that they have finally acknowledged that आगे जाके बहुत मसले होने वाले हैं US इकोनॉमी को, and inflation and unemployment will increase. Now, ये सब जो मसला है, जो US इकोनॉमी के अंदर मसला आ रहा है, उसके साथ क्या हुआ है कि Trump has proposed a budget, a bill in the government, in the Senate to pass. और अगर वो पास हो गया तो US federal government is going to see an additional $3.8 trillion deficit, right, debt, on top of what they already have, which is around 36.2 trillion. So this is massive. This is more than 10% of the current debt they have, right? And all these things are pointing towards a collapse of the US economy to a certain extent, recession, and this will have global impacts. When we look at what is happening, so what the US dollar, how the US dollar is, let me just move this over here so you guys can see. So what is happening with the US dollar versus other G10 countries, right? So you would see that US dollar year to date has been falling across all the G10 countries. Highest drop is versus Swedish krona. आज हम further analysis करेंगे Swiss francs and euros के against USD का, right? So that you guys have an understanding of what the price action would happen, right? I also just want to very quickly show you that emerging markets के अंदर how the US dollar is trending, and you would see even emerging markets के against, right? It has been performing poorly year to date, excluding obviously the Indonesian rupee and Argentina pesos. But what I would recommend, keep an eye on Russia, Brazil, and China, right? The BRIC countries. In our next videos, we will be analyzing these graphs as well for the BRIC countries. But let's quickly jump into what's happening with Euro, right? So, looking at Euro, let me just make it a bit bigger. So, looking at what's happening with Euro, keep in mind this is the monthly chart, right? We see that the Euro is on a downward trajectory over here, right? So US dollar is on a downward trajectory versus the euro. If we go on 4 hour chart, we would see that this was a strong support which was easily broken last month, right? However, this is a support from where it bounced back. We saw the price action trying to rise above, but market sentiment was not there, and market news uh, this month, a couple of weeks ago, made it come down, right? And we see that the support is still holding. Uh, if we go in our hourly time frame, you would see that we have a resistance band over here, which is 0.891 range. Price action tried to break it a couple of times. So we see on the 1 hour chart, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it came down. However, it did rise from here. So the levels that I would recommend keeping a very close eye on is the 0.877 range, right, and 891 range, right. If a reversal happens from the 8.91 range, it would come down over here, and there might be a bounce from this range. However, when it reaches this range, then need to keep a check on 0.894, right? From here, it definitely would come back down, right? Looking at the news, and this is going to cause the US dollar to fall significantly versus the euro. So do keep a note on these resistance and support levels, right? This is what the price action would happen based on our analysis. What I'm seeing is that it would not touch its resistance, right? Rather, there is more inclination that it is going to go slightly up till here, and then price action is going to cause it to hit here. Over here, there might be a bounce. My recommendation on the 0.877 range is to exit your trades, right? Because there might be a bounce. However, uh, after the bounce, it might break this and come down. But obviously, we need to see how the news trends. So that is what is currently happening on the euro front, right? Now, let's jump into the francs. So looking at the Swiss franc, right? This is the monthly chart. What we see is that the trend is downwards. We see that this was a very strong support level, the 0.88 zone, which did not hold, right? So if you look over here, there was one bounce, 2, 3, and then it broke, right? It tried to go up, but it couldn't hold itself, broke again. We see another support level at the 0.84. There was 1, 2, and on the third try, it broke. Let's zoom in a bit, right, on the 12 hour. So what we see over here, just reset. So you see that this area was holding, it broke, was not able to stabilize, changed the support into a resistance, right? And it pushed down. Couple of levels that I would keep note of. So you have the 0.84 range, which is your first resistance, and then the second one would be 0.88. The way the price action is moving, I'm very confident that the price action is going to go on a downward, hit the 0.787 range, and then bounce from here, right? So in case if you guys are in a short trade, do exit at this level. If you guys are looking at opening a trade, do make sure that your stop loss is ideally above the 0.84 level, somewhere around 0.85, or if can be above 0.89, then you're even safer over there, because this 0.88 level definitely is going to hold. However, I'm pretty certain that it is going to touch the 0.787 level. I hope you guys all found this information useful. देखने वाली चीज़ ये है that ट्रम्प जो मार्केट में हो रहा है, ट्रम्प एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के पास कोई जादू का फॉर्मूला है which saves US from recession, या US economy is doomed and there is no way to save them, right? Please आप लोग अपने comments हमारे कमेंट्स में बताइएगा your views, right? We'll be back with some more insights on US dollar versus some of the BRIC economies, जैसे कि मैंने पहले बताया, and we will also in our next video be seeing the commodity market कि oil में क्या हो रहा है. That's all for today, right? Please don't forget to subscribe and like and set alerts ताकि whenever we upload our video आप लोगों को फौरन उसका alert हो, right? Also, if you know any traders जो इस तरह की information से benefit कर सकते हैं, please do share it with them. अगली वीडियो तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफ़िज़.